Hey everybody, welcome back to the shop. It's been quite a while since we've done any videos in here, but well, the place hasn't burned to the ground yet. I'm always trying to get out more content for you guys. I always have people requesting more and more videos, and I get out as many as I can, as often as I can. I wish I could do twice as many videos as I do, but I'm only one guy and there's a lot of work that goes into each one. So over the course of the last couple years, YouTube been pretty hard here. I have had many projects come and go and never actually come to fruition, or whatever you want to call it. I've went out and looked at a bunch of machines and done a bunch of stuff and recorded it all along the way, but for one reason or another, it's never made it into a video and in front of your faces. So I was digging through the computer yesterday and I decided, you know what, I've got plenty of footage here. I'm just going to make a hodgepodge video of things that never panned out. So it's the holiday season. That's my Christmas gift from me to you guys, and I know the true subscribers and the true fans will appreciate it. So here we go. So the first thing that we're going to go through here is a series of clips I shot while looking at a Terex wheel loader over last summer, I think it was. I was looking at a Terex wheel loader that a guy was going to sell. He was talking about cutting it up for scrap, and I hee-hawed around and didn't make him an offer on it, and I ended up losing the thing, and he sold it to somebody else. So that wasn't his fault, that was mine. I never made him a formal offer on it when I should have. Otherwise, we would definitely have this wheel loader. I really wish I had it because it's a pretty nice loader. What's up everybody, welcome back to Diesel Creek. My name is Matt, and if you don't know, I've got an antique equipment problem. I really love collecting and restoring and working old iron. I don't know why, something about the simplistic, rugged durability, but it gets me every time. I've been seeing this wheel loader sit here on this lot since I was a little kid, and finally stopped the other day, looked at it, and tracked down the owner, and he said, oh, stop down there, take a look at it. It's been sitting there for years, but I threw batteries in it the other day because actually somebody out of nowhere wanted to look at it. Threw batteries in it, and he said it fired right up. So he said, you should be able to stop down and fire it up. Don't tempt me with a good time. This is a Terex 7231B, powered by a 471 Detroit. And my little bit of Googling around, I think it weighs somewhere in the neighborhood of 28,000 pounds. So comparable to the Fiat Alice 645 I have on the channel, if you're familiar. Although it does look and feel bigger to me.
That's what she said.
One tire is pretty low here. Bucket's pretty well clapped out. You can see the cutting edge is all busted up and missing. So, but other than that, the machine looks like it's in decent condition. It's missing the front windshield, but yeah. Oh yeah, there's the remnants of a massive hornet's nest. Glad I wasn't around for that one. Well, I don't know. I'm gonna pull the dipstick, make sure it's got oil. Not that Detroits even need oil. Wherever the dipstick may be. Got a fuel gauge in there, that's kind of nice. Ah, the dipstick. No, it's got plenty of oil. Well, that's good enough for me. The guy said give her, we'll give her. Here we go, contact. Man, this thing runs beautiful. Man, that guy didn't lie. This thing fired right up. Gotta love these old Detroits. I always think it's funny, people call these things noise to, or money to noise converters. the loudest way possible to convert money to noise. Well, the thing's running. I guess I'm gonna throw some air in that tire and see what it'll do. Well, the tire's holding there pretty good. Time for the old Detroit to sing her song.
Tell you what, it's a pretty good old loader. The bucket is pretty darn sloppy, but that's the only thing. Everything else feels fairly tight. Pretty responsive. And the guy told me second gear doesn't work, and he wasn't lying. It doesn't work. Bucket's banged up a little bit. Like I said, the cutting edge is pooched. Tires have decent tread on them. You know, they're very usable yet. They're better than the ones that are on Fat Alice. That engine just sounds smooth. Like, that thing is nice. I don't want to run it too much, and I'll show you why. These hydraulic hoses here do all the bucket curling. And as you guys can see, they have seen some better days. All right, they're in rough shape. So you start really running the hydraulic, there's a good chance that these things are gonna pop. I don't want to be the guy that they pop on. So I think we better park this thing before we wind up owning it. You know, you break it, you bought it kind of thing. The wife's in the truck there. I don't think she'd be real thrilled about that. I do like the machine. Pretty fast, pretty quick. The hydraulics, I mean, are pretty responsive. That's one complaint I have about the Fiat Alice. The hydraulics are pretty slow on it. Pretty neat old loader. course, some kids had to smash the window out of this thing, otherwise the cab would still be sealed up. And because there's no windshield, the wiper is in here dangling over the steering wheel. That gets to be a pain in the butt. But yeah, just sit back and listen to the Detroit. Hard to drive one-handed. See, if you put it in second gear, you get nothing. Back down in the first though, she's good. There we go. Right back in the same groove where the bucket was before. Yeah. I don't know. Something to consider. Seems like it runs pretty good. Watch how quick this thing starts. Ready? So the starter solenoid didn't want to engage there the first 2 times I hit the button, but man, the second that it did engage, that thing didn't make a half a revolution and it started running. Looks like everything's good. A lot of you guys always ask how my wife lets me get away with buying so much stuff. I kind of live by the philosophy it's easier to beg for forgiveness than ask for permission, but just for giggles this once, since she's here. Can we buy it?
No. What?
Can we buy it?
No.
But it's a Terex.
What is that supposed to?
It's big and green. Look, it matches your shirt.
Okay.
It's supposed to complement your outfit, right?
That was good.
It runs sweet. It's a nice machine, really. Bucket pins and a couple hoses, and this thing would be a pretty good old girl.
Look, there's a bird's nest.
Yeah, watch. I mean, you should be fine, but always keep an eye out for bees when it's like this. I didn't see any.
No, I'm good.
And the birds flew the nest, apparently. The old screaming demon scared them off.
Next thing out of the archives here, me and Dirt Perfect went up and toured the work brow facility that made my bucket and forks that I use on the Takeuchi skid steer all the time. And I just never got that video together and was not allowed to release it. But they make a great set of bucket and forks, so I've been really happy with those. I've been running those for over a year now. And you guys will be able to tell that a lot of this footage is pretty old. It's been sitting on my hard drive for a while, collecting dust. So here's a bucket and forks.
I tell you what, I'm really not somebody that would say that having their name on something would mean that much to them, but I tell you what, it does kind of make you feel like you did something.
And I like those forks a lot.
Well, check that thing out, huh, guys? Man, I've wanted one of these since I got this machine. I mean, I have a tooth bucket for my old skid steer, and it's not a terrible design, but it is definitely got some wear on it, and it's not nearly as stout as this big guy right here. So this thing is a 76-inch tooth bucket from Workbrow. Look at that, they even laser cut the logo and put it on there. Man, that thing's sweet. It's got nice heavy side cuts on it. My other bucket does not have side cutters. And see, you can tell a cheap bucket too, because they'll put this outside tooth just straight in line like the rest of these are. And the problem with that is you're not getting to the outside of the bucket. So if this side cutter wasn't here, this tooth would still be out cutting the outside edge for this bucket. But if this tooth was straight, you'd be just jamming dirt right into this dead corner. So they did her up right. Teeth are looking good on there. I like this style of keeper too. I don't know what that's called, but the ones on my other bucket pin straight down through this way, and they don't hold on there the best. But well, I don't like shiny paint around here, so let's go ahead and just slam this thing in the mud a bit today. It is nice and muddy. Maybe just fluff up that pile a little bit or smear some mud around.
Next up, we have an international parts truck that I went and picked up 2 years ago now, I think. I picked up this truck for parts. It has the same DT466 and Eaton 10-speed transmission that's in my red dump truck. So I think I paid like $2 or $3 grand for that truck. And I need to swap that transmission from the orange truck into my good red truck one of these days. But this is just us loading it up and starting to haul it home.
Like a dealership, I haven't left the lot yet. It's still here to sell. Keep trying to release the brakes and nothing's gonna happen.
Whoa, right there. The leak is still out pretty hard. That's good. Try that. Pouring out fuel.
Yeah, fuel filter has either a hole in it or a crack.
Yep,
To get all this good hardware. Oh yeah, this is fine.
It's a pouring out.
That's fine. I want to get this beautiful seat all messed up.
It's like cashmere.
That?
So that's kind of like cashmere.
Oh yeah. I think, was that velour? Is that what?
Last but certainly not least is a really, really cool machine that I wish we could have gotten. I drove all the way down to right outside of Washington, D.C. to pick up this crawler crane. It was mounted on an International T9 crawler, and the cranes, I don't know exactly when this unit was made, but they used the exact same units during World War II for unloading and loading ships and carrying and loading bombs and everything else. So a really, really neat piece of equipment that, as many things that were wrong with it, it was actually in good shape. All things considered, it was in good shape, if that makes sense. But I couldn't get the thing loaded. It was stuck to the ground. So unfortunately, I had to drive back empty on that one with my tail tucked. I was a little upset on that, but it is what it is. It was a cool machine, and I wish I could have got it home for you guys so we could have done some cool stuff with it. What have I got myself into now? Oh boy, this looks interesting. So I know pretty much absolutely nothing about this thing. I saw it on Facebook, asked the guy a couple questions, and he said, tell you what, $500, come get this thing. And I said, well, I guess I'm on my way. It is a International T9, not a TD. It's not the diesel, it's a gas job, unfortunately. It's an International T9 crawler. And I don't know much about the crane part of it yet, but I'm pretty sure that these are the same ones that they used in World War II for all sorts of utility crane purposes. I did grab a hold of the fan there, and the engine appears to be locked up, unfortunately. All the spark plugs are out of it, and it looks like there's water coming out of that number 2 there. So it's a project, but for $500, how could you say no to a piece of history like that? Hopefully I can get this thing winched up here. Suppose I should make sure that thing's out of gear, huh? Well, at this point, the Harbor Freight winch is maxed completely out. I've never had it do that before. Once it got all that tension on there, I was hitting the button and it just would not pull anymore. With that snatch block on there, you're theoretically giving it 24,000 pounds of pulling strength. So that sucker was not budging. Those tracks would not spin. At this point, I'm up on top of the machine there, looking at all the controls, making sure it's not stuck in gear, or there's not a park brake stuck on, or whatever it is. But ultimately, I think it was just, it sat for so long that the tracks were rusted in place and they just refused to spin. The company whose yard this machine was sitting in had some roll-off trucks, so they brought one of those over and hooked up to it, and they were able to drag it a little bit, but as you can see, the tracks still did not spin, so they could have drug it around for all they wanted to, but if the tracks wouldn't spin, there was no way for me to get it loaded onto the trailer. They didn't have any machines capable of picking it up. And by this point, I was also second-guessing how much that thing actually weighed. I tried to research it as best I could before I made the trip, and I was thinking it was about 14,000 pounds, which was really pushing it for my trailer, but actually after getting there and really studying it, I think it was probably a little more than that. And then once I came home, I was able to find the brochure that you saw there a little bit ago, and I believe it says that it weighs in the neighborhood of 17 something with the crane on it, so definitely would have been way too much for my trailer, so it all worked out, I guess. And just so you know, I don't give up that easy. We spent the better part of 2 hours there, I think, playing around with different configurations of chains and trying to get the tracks to turn individually and beating on them with sledgehammers and everything else. They even had a Mini X there that we brought down, and we're trying to work the tracks back and forth with a Mini X, but it just wasn't having it. I think that's about all I got for now. If you guys like this video, let me know down in the comments. I probably have enough footage I could drudge up and probably make another one of these videos if you guys really wanted to. Anyways, it's been a great year for me. I hope it has been for you as well. I'm looking forward to whatever we can do in 2023, and I'll be seeing you there. So, thanks for watching. I'll see you in 2023.